everyone, welcome back to my channel. So guys, in today's video I'll be talking about the cellular events in acute inflammation. So as always, I would love to begin by defining the word inflammation. Inflammation is a complex process of vascular and cellular alterations that occur in the body in response to injury. So the two major or most important events that occur during inflammation is vascular and cellular changes. So I've talked about the vascular changes. The link to the video will be in my description box. So in today's video I'll be talking about the cellular changes or the cellular events that occurs in acute inflammation. Remember guys that there are two types of inflammation: the acute inflammation, which is of short duration, and the chronic inflammation, which is of longer duration. So today's video is about the cellular events that takes place during acute inflammation. And these cellular events or cellular changes are things that happens to cells during acute inflammation. So most of these cells are blood cells. Some are found in the tissues. And then the most important function of inflammation is to deliver leukocytes, particularly neutrophils and monocytes, to the site of injury. So leukocytes are also known as white blood cells, and we have the lymphocytes, monocytes, neutrophils, eosinophils, and basophils. But the major function of inflammation is to deliver leukocytes, particularly neutrophils and monocytes, to the site of injury. And what do these leukocytes go to the site of injury to do? They just go there and sit or enjoy themselves? No, they go there to work. And what is the work? The work is to engulf and kill the whatever that is causing injury, be it a pathogen or a parasite, anything. And they also degrade necrotic tissue and immune complexes. So these leukocytes are found within the blood vessels, in the bloodstream, and that takes us to the bloodstream. What about the bloodstream? So normally in the bloodstream of a blood vessel, there are two distinct zones: the axial stream and the plasmatic stream. So the axial stream, which is in the center, is where you find the erythrocytes and leukocytes. The plasmatic stream, which is external to the axial stream and is in contact with the wall of the blood vessel, is where you find the plasma. So the plasmatic stream consists mainly of plasma. And these cellular elements that are in the axial stream, that's the erythrocytes and leukocytes. Erythrocytes are also known as red blood cells. I think I've said it, or maybe I've not. So the cellular elements in the axial stream are held in the center by the centripetal force of the flowing blood, which is overcome by the centrifugal force as blood flow slows. Remember that during increased capillary permeability, the capillary becomes more porous than normal, allowing substances to move out of it easily. So when this happens, blood flow slows down. And when blood flow slows down, what happens? Centrifugal force overcomes centripetal force, and these blood cells that are in the center will fall out of the center and then make contact with the endothelial cells. So when they have made contact with the endothelial cells, what's next? Next thing, they escape out of the blood vessels into the extravascular space. So now I'll be talking about the sequence of events in the journey of leukocytes from the lumen of the blood vessels into the extravascular space. This is also called extravasation. And these events can be divided into margination, adhesion, emigration, phagocytosis, and release of leukocyte products. So we'll look at these events one after the other. The first one here is margination. So during margination, the leukocytes accumulate at the periphery of the vessel. Afterwards, the leukocytes roll over and over slowly along the endothelial surface and adhere transiently, that's for a short period of time. So the next event is adhesion. In adhesion, leukocytes finally come to rest at some point where they adhere firmly to the endothelium of the blood vessel. And with time, the endothelium is virtually lined by leukocytes. This appearance is called pigmenting. So next event is emigration, and emigration occurs after adhesion. Leukocytes insert their phosphates. That's during emigration. The leukocytes insert their phosphates, also known as pseudopods, into the interendothelial junctions. These are junctions between two endothelial cells. So the leukocytes insert their phosphates into these junctions, then they squeeze through these gaps and occupy a position between the endothelial cell and the basement membrane. So finally, the leukocytes crawl through the basement membrane and escape into the extravascular space. This process is also known by two other names: transmigration, diapedesis. And neutrophils, monocytes, lymphocytes, eosinophils, and basophils, they all use the same pathway. So there is no different pathway for lymphocytes or another pathway for monocytes and so on. So after the leukocytes have successfully escaped from the blood, what do they now do? They migrate into tissues towards the site of injury. Remember, that is the main reason why they escaped from the blood vessels at first. So they now, when they're outside the blood vessels, they migrate into the tissues towards the site of injury by a process called chemotaxis. Chemotaxis means chemical attraction. So example of chemotactic agents, we have soluble bacterial products. Here, components of the complement systems, leukotrienes. So these are all chemotactic agents. And what do? They attract the leukocytes towards the site of injury. So what do they? These chemotactic agents are just doing, like, they're calling the leukocytes to itself. They'll be like, leukocytes, come to mama, So they're drawing leukocytes to the site of injury. I hope you guys understand. So remember, we are still under the sequence of events in the journey of leukocytes from the lumen of the blood vessels into the extravascular space. So I've talked about margination, adhesion, and emigration. So now let's look at phagocytosis. So this is what the leukocytes do when they have escaped from the blood vessels, and it is the main reason for the entire journey. The whole journey of them squeezing through the entire endothelial junctions and crawling and all that is just for them to get to the site of injury and eat or engulf the injurious stimuli. So what is phagocytosis? Phagocytosis is the process by which cells take in particulate matter into their cytoplasma. So when it is fluid, it is known as pinocytosis. And like I said, neutrophils and monocytes, the main reason why they escaped from the blood vessels at first is to get to the site of injury so that they can kill and degrade the materials or the injurious stimuli which they have already ingested. So that is the reason for the entire journey, and it is the most beneficial function of inflammation: delivery of leukocytes. Okay, so phagocytosis involves three different but interrelated steps. First is the recognition of the injurious stimuli. They don't just go there and engulf anything they say. First of all, recognize that this is an offender, and then when they recognize the offender, the next step is attachment of the particle to the surface of the neutrophil. So after recognition, next is attachment of the particle to the surface of the neutrophil, and after that, second step This is the first step, recognition and attachment. The second step is its engulfment. When the particle is already attached to the surface of the neutrophil, the neutrophil will now engulf it, and its subsequent formation of a phagocytic vacuole, which is known as phagosome. So after engulfing it, a phagosome is formed. The third step is killing and degradation of the ingested material within the phagolysosome. So the phagosome will fuse with the lysosome that is within the cytoplasma of the neutrophils. So when the phagosome fuses with the lysosome, remember that the lysosome is the what is it again? Lysosome is kind of the killer in the cell, kind of. I'm just trying to remember the word for it. So the phagosome and the lysosome will fuse, and then this material, remember that the injurious stimuli is in the phagosome. So when they fuse together, next thing is death of whatever that is within that phagolysosome. So okay, now we are done with phagocytosis. The last event that occurs is the release of leukocyte products. So the metabolic and membrane disturbances that occur in leukocytes during chemotaxis, activation, and phagocytosis result in the release of products not only within the phagolysosome but also into the extracellular space. So the most important of these substances in neutrophils are lysosomal enzymes, oxygen-derived active metabolites, prostaglandins, and leukotrienes. So these substances, or these products rather, amplify effects of the initial inflammatory stimulus. They are also powerful mediators of endothelial injury and tissue damage. So if persistent and unchecked, leukocytes themselves become offender and inflict tissue injury. So in summary of everything I've talked about, the leukocytes first adhere to the endothelium, then they leave the vessel and migrate to the site of injury under the influence of chemotactic agents, after which phagocytosis occurs. And during chemotaxis and phagocytosis, activated neutrophils may release toxic metabolites extracellularly, causing tissue damage. And that's it for today's video, guys. I'm so sorry it's a long one, but I just had to make it this long. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you don't miss my next video. Bye.